Okay, so on a scale of Satellite Girl and the Milk Cow and Cyberpunk Edgerunners, how good was your recounting your romance montage with emotional music? Because it's funny, we were watching that ending episode of Cyberpunk Edgerunners tonight, and they were having, the very end like romance montage. Where they were going through all of Lucy and David's sort of romance with one another.
And Latino Tanjiro?
Yes. And it was a very lovely, lovely moment. But in the back of my head, I was thinking about the movie night that we had last night, where we had to watch
a guy getting milked.
Anyway, welcome back to Off the Balcony. We've got kind of a loaded show for you guys tonight. We're going to be talking about some anime that we've watched because you're probably going to be listening to this on Halloween. At least that's around when we want this episode to be up. We'll be talking about some of our favorite anime to ring in the spooky season, and I guess we could also recount some of our golf misadventures and just various life events or whatever you guys want to talk about. We are here for that. So how is everyone doing? Everyone having a good week, day, life, everything like that?
Week has been kind of and in Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Called it the video game name.
Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a good show, but much like the video game, it did not do much favors to my epileptic ass. Eyes hurty.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. I guess that makes sense, but so you still enjoyed it, even though it was like kind of.
And I liked the show, I just didn't really watch it.
I kind of get that. But we can get more into that because I'm kind of more of an orderly type person.
Yeah, let's go chronological now.
Yeah. We're just going to recount all of the anime that we've watched. Some big names that have come out recently. Some were probably better left on VHS tape, and some should
have been left in Korea.
Some should have never have been shown on any screen, whether it be your iPhone or a 50-foot screen in a movie theater. So why don't we start with a pretty non-controversial show to talk about, and I do mean this non-controversial. Demon Slayer. We watched the latest arc, the Swordsmith arc. So what was y'all's impressions of it? I mean, it's Steven's pick, so I guess we could let him go.
It was really, really good. I loved the animation. Was always a 10 out of 10.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm pretty sure the entire internet has seen it at this point, so I'm not really worried about spoilers that much.
We'll still throw in a spoiler tag. Spoilers! Anyway.
I was kind of interested in how they structured the show. The 45-minute theatrical release of a first episode.
Oh, that first episode was a fucking trip, man.
Yeah.
Like, it almost felt like... did you ever watch the movie Interstellar?
Yes.
Do you remember that, where it was like this weird kind of almost Tesseract sort of world that Matthew McConaughey was in? That's the way that this like demon house, I guess that's the only way I could describe it, demon house, was kind of set up to me. It kind of had that weird vibe to it, which I know is the point, but still, I thought it really did a lot for me, and I thought it was an effective first episode.
It was a mix of Interstellar and Inception.
Yes. 2 Christopher Nolan films.
I wonder if there's an influence.
Possibly. But, yeah, and that episode pretty much dealt with Akasa being, like, I guess, chided by the demon that no one likes. The one that was always kind of doing his Maximilian Pegasus from Yu-Gi-Oh! Voice.
The basketball got bullied by the twink.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, you mean... Yeah, yes. That's a good way to put it. And
then the basketball got chided by...
the big
samurai.
boss. Yeah, the big
samurai.
boss. The big boss. So yeah.
No, the big boss, not the bigger boss, the big boss.
I know, there's varying levels of big boss in... every single villain in Demon Slayer is the big boss until it's like, uh-oh, there's a bigger boss who's bigger than the last boss.
So this reminded me of a thing I saw recently where there's this one card game called Rice Schwartz that I always see cards of it sold at anime conventions, even though I've never seen a single person ever actually play the game. But somebody posted that the card for Muzan and the card for Bochi from Bochi the Rock have the same score. So it could be canon that Bochi could go one-on-one with Muzan.
That would be a fucking fun. How would that even play? Would it be like a battle of the bands type situation? Like, is Bochi just gonna whip out her guitar? Just get blast. It's like, it'd be like, the greatest song in the world from, Tenacious.
Exactly.
We played the first song that came to our head. Just so happened to be. Muzan be like, play the best song in the or I'll eat your soul. That would...
Bochi and Ryo both looked at each other, and we each said, okay.
Yeah. That is how, even though I love these characters, yes, Bochi v. Muzan, let's do it. What is this game that you're talking about, though? What's it called?
Rice Shorts.
I've never heard of it before. And you say it's sold pretty consistently?
Yeah, I always see it being sold, like card packs of it being sold at conventions, because they pretty much do a collab with just every anime ever.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever heard of this game before, but I don't know. I guess it sounds interesting. Just on the fact that Muzan and Bochi are apparently fucking adversaries. But yeah, that's... So first episode doesn't really have a lot to do with the main plot of the show. I think it has more to do with the overarching story.
And the plot.
Yeah.
Yes, and the plot. We all love some good plot in this house. But I think it... I don't know. Steven, you're more manga inclined. I'm guessing it has more to do with the main overarching story of Demon Slayer than it does with...
Yeah, so the main point of this arc was that the demons are trying to, in any type of war, take away the arms of their enemy.
Okay, I guess it does that. It kind of sets the main plot of this season into effect.
Yeah, but we get to deal with some type of merman and the coward.
Oh, I know. The design of all the different demons has always been fantastic, but definitely here they really brought like the full like kind of creative weight to what they could do with these demons. Like, you have like this guy with a giant head and little baby arms and kind of growing out of a ficus plant pot. It's just, it's just so bizarre, but it works. I think it really works. And yeah, so that's where the first episode goes. And then
in the human characters, we finally got to see the watermelon e-girl.
Oh, I have her name written down.
Mitsuri.
Yeah, Mitsuri. I keep forgetting her name, even though I shouldn't, because she's such a good character.
I just call her Big Tits Mackenzie.
He call her Chesty LaRue.
I really hope people got that Big Tits Mackenzie reference. When Yandere Simulator wasn't as cursed as it is, Markiplier played it and just said one of his rivals was Big Tits
I remember when that Let's Play.
Back in 2013.
Yeah, I remember watching that like back around 2015, back before Yandev became just who he is now.
I still love those texts. Where,
oh god, I don't
like
think
you're abusing me. I'm 16. You're emotionally manipulating me. You're 36.
She may not be emotionally abusing him, but she is taking him to school.
It's not emotional manipulation. It's called roasting.
It's like
stating the fucking facts.
No, this project was started on 4chan, and you know how 4chan people are.
Bruh, you tried to pick her up from school, and she took you to the cleaners. So, anyway, what were we talking? How did we get on to... Oh, because of Chesty LaRue and...
Big Tits Mackenzie.
And Mitsuri.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and the guy with the gun.
Genya.
Oh, yeah, Genya was actually really good.
He's used my favorite breathing style, the American technique.
Yeah, oh, yeah, with the guns. Yeah, I really like Genya this season. I mean, we haven't really had a lot of Genya.
Yeah, here's just the angry guy that showed up in, like, 2 scenes of season 1.
Yeah, and he was actually pretty... I was actually pretty with him, like pretty quickly in the in this season. Like, I actually got on board with him. Like, and that's another thing, speaking of Genya, because we're talking about a bunch of different characters that aren't usually mainly featured. Well, an interesting quirk of this season is that 2 of the fan favorites and 2 of the main characters, you can't really call them deuteragonists, but like two of the biggest players, Zenitsu and Inosuke, are conspicuously absent from this season.
Inosuke was in this season.
Yeah, he was on the ceiling.
He did have one good scene that literally sucked the air out of my fucking lungs from laughing so hard.
It's like, don't think Inosuke's gonna make it. I must be hallucinating then. I see him on the ceiling.
He's just...
I win. I recovered faster than you did.
You know what? Bryce was only in this season for, like, really 1 episode. But
7 minutes.
7 minutes, but man, he made those 7 minutes, like, work. And I hope those and if you're an Inosuke fan, which, like I am, I think we all are, I hope those 7 minutes carry, because that's all you're getting of Inosuke in this show. Not that that's even a detriment, and I'll explain, we'll explain why in a little bit, but Inosuke is only in this for his brief scene, and Zenitsu is in it for an even briefer.
Yeah, at the first episode, he's in there just to be shown that, hey, he recovered and he's doing missions.
He's not dead.
Yeah, and he has like 1 or 2 lines, which I did look up were voiced by Alex Lee.
Yeah.
But, that's all you're getting of Zenitsu, which...
Yeah.
Which is both unfortunate, but let me say this about I actually like that Inosuke and Zenitsu were not in this season. I'll explain why later, but I think this was a good this was a good place to show, like let Tanjiro shine again. You know what I mean? Like, let Tanjiro be, like, the hero and the main character again. Not that I think he was ever sidelined in the previous seasons, but, like...
the last season season 2 did have a lot of good Inosuke and Zenitsu moments. And I really appreciate those moments, but it's also, I don't think the show was going this way, per se, but it's so easy for a show, like, if you have, like, fan favorite characters... So just make them more...
To lean on them more when it's supposed to be, like, an ensemble piece.
Yeah, and that kind of is what happened to that one Studio Ghibli movie, My Neighbors the Yamadas, like, the original comic of that. Just, like...
Oh, right.
A little bit after the movie was made, they... The daughter of the family became so popular that they renamed the whole comic strip to just be her.
Yeah, Nono-chan.
Yeah, it's renamed the whole comic Nono-chan and basically just made her the main character of everything.
Yeah,
When the original comic was about the whole family.
And the whole family was great, if you've ever seen My Neighbors the Yamadas. But
we do have a review on the channel.
We do. And I was thinking the same thing along the lines of, like during the early 90s when The Simpsons was really relying on Bart Simpson a lot, like, especially in seasons 2, 3, and 4, like, you have a lot of Bart-heavy episodes. And I don't think Demon Slayer was going this way with Zenitsu and Inosuke, but it could have been so easy to do that. That's, like, my main point. Like, they could have fallen into this trap, but they were able to, kind of turn the corner. I think this was a good season to do that. But I really like the new characters that came along. Like, Well, who were some of your new favorite?
Oh, there's also the Miss Tashua boy.
Oh, the
Like Muichiro, was that his name?
Yeah, Murichiro.
who was that?
Murichiro.
The little boy Hashio.
Right.
Didn't really show that many emotions at first. Oh, he had amnesia.
Oh, right.
Amnesia turned into his older brother for personality, and then when everything came back, became himself again.
Okay, I thought his name was Tokito, so...
I think that's his last name.
Okay, well, I'm gonna call him Tokito.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
But...
Taquito.
I want some taquitos. That's another Simpsons reference. But yeah, I don't know. What did you guys think of the lack of Zenitsu and Inosuke in the season?
I've read the manga, and I can't exactly say too much about, the future. I can say that they shine more in the next arc.
Okay.
Like, they, I guess it's like the writing style of turn it away a little bit and then force it back on them later.
But what did you think of them not being in this season?
I think, just due to, like, the, how they presented the material, I think it was really good that they weren't there.
Uh-huh.
Like, especially with that Nezuko sacrifice scene. That, I think Zenitsu being there would have ruined it immediately.
Yeah. I think, like, he works in a very specific context, and I think that, like, obviously they don't really have a relationship. I mean, it wouldn't have worked. I completely agree. Like, it would not have worked. And I think it was better that it was just Tanjiro there. And I'll say this about Tokito. I forgot what name you were calling him by, but...
Taquito?
No, what you were calling him by. Whatever his...
Taki.
Whatever his name...
No. She doesn't Taki.
No, we're not talking about Daki, Steven. That was last season. But yeah, the flashback scene with Tokito was probably one of the best flashback scenes in that I've seen in this show.
My boy lost an arm and beat the shit out of a demon.
I know, what a fucking tank that kid was. And
it's probably why he was built like an absolute brick house.
Well, yeah, from, because they were like lumber cutters.
The most ripped 12-year-old you've ever seen.
Doesn't have enough testosterone to actually generate muscle mass. You think that's going to slow me down?
Yeah, but something must have happened when he hit 13 and 14 when he was training, because that motherfucker went wild.
Yeah. That motherfucker got yoked.
That scene where he had the poison took away his uniform, we just saw like a fucking chiseled 8-pack.
It's like,
my guy.
It's like, damn, you don't miss a meal, son. But yeah, I thought the new...
I mean, did you see that flashback of Mitsuri? Neither does she.
Oh yeah, the Mitsuri flashback was actually kind of a welcome surprise of how
it's like she doesn't have dead parents or an abusive home life or anything. She just couldn't get married.
She just wants a job, basically.
Yeah.
She wasn't able to get married for having watermelon hair and eating a fuck ton and being strong. Being stronger than every guy ever.
Well, every guy in whatever
they
village...
They were too scared of her to marry her.
Weaklings. But,
realize that if she grew up in this modern world, there would be people lining up to pay her to step on them.
So, yeah, it was nice to not have something that was so, tragic and abusive, and it was just fun, and Mitsuri's a fun character, and here's what I'll say, about the, demon, the actual demon that they fight in this...
Which one?
Well, the main demon, like how, I know how it splits up.
The coward, yeah.
Yeah.
What was his name? Hontangu?
Whatever.
I have no idea.
Yes, it was Hontangu.
Okay, we'll call him that. Found him very underwhelming. I think his design is really good, and the battle scenes with him are really good.
Yeah, it's just watching it just every episode is just, I've had enough of this dude.
Yeah, and it especially...
Like, it just dragged on forever.
And it especially doesn't work when you compare... Well, I mean, it works, like, well enough. Like, it's not bad. It doesn't really pull down the season for me. It's more of a matter of, like, last season we had Gitaro and Daki, who are some of the best villains that I've ever seen
and even
in anime.
The spider demon from season 1 was pretty cool.
The spider demon was good. The train demon, Akasa, I already can tell is gonna be great. And then it's like, yeah, then you have just kind of this coward demon. It felt really underdeveloped from what from what I'm used to with the other demons.
It feels like they could have gone on longer with this season, but I think it might have just been studio restrictions. This is the way that the series and it was an hour-long special. They're like, oh, we can fit this in like 3 episodes. No. You have enough for this.
Yeah.
You will do it in this amount of time. So that's probably why a whole bunch of stuff might have got cut out.
Okay.
At least that's what I'm assuming.
I was going to say, if there's more in the manga, feel free to tell us.
Yeah, not really.
Okay, well then maybe it was just constrained by the material.
The only things that really got cut was him. Like, there were, those guys that were running away with the swords?
Yeah.
There was 2 more people.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
He kills 2 more people, tries to... Still isn't enough, and then Tadra gets the fucking yeet from Nezuko and kills him.
Okay. Well, I guess, they can't all be bangers, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, watching the fight with the coward demon, you just think, like, anytime you actually see the coward demon, it's like, this guy really made it to the top ranks of the demon hierarchy.
Yeah, he's number 4 because once he got into that fucking Ashura form, where he's like controlling all, he has like his anger form to absorb everything.
Uh-huh.
And starts using the drums and beating people with the wooden dragons and shit. That's how he killed a lot of people.
Yeah. So that was pretty much the only part of the season that I really felt was underwhelming. What did you guys think of the ending scene with Nezuko? That whole...
She can walk out in the sun.
Well, before we figure that out, what did you think of that whole sequence?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew they just wouldn't kill off Nezuko at this point in the story.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I did too. I'm just...
It's still hurt.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, oh, holy shit. Like, I knew it was going to be, like, an emotional moment, but it's like, they're... what are they going to do? Like, get rid of one of the... the
big draw of the story?
Yeah, one of the 4 big draws of the story? Absolutely not, but...
it's like Tanjiro's whole motivation for becoming a demon slayer just... It's gone now, but still gotta have a job.
Yeah. So I liked it. It wasn't my favorite Demon Slayer season. I'd say that would go to the Entertainment District arc.
Yeah.
That was probably like peak Demon Slayer, where it's like this long, and I mean this well, all well meaning, long, drawn out battle to take down these 2 fucking demons.
It's like a great blend of action and comedy.
Action, comedy, some drama in there. Because they're just pelting every single thing that they have ever learned, using it to try to fight these 2 fucking demons.
You want to know the funny part?
What?
You know that fight they had Gitaro and Tengen when Tengen had his arm cut off? He had his arm cut off.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to know how long that fight was in the show? Like how many episodes it was? I think it was like, 3, 4?
Yeah.
Do you know how many pages it was in the manga?
How many?
4.
It was 4?
It was 4 pages in the manga.
Holy gee.
And they made it last like hour and a half.
Well, I mean, I guess that's, kind of adaptation sort of things. You want to make
Ufotable paid for this shit, and they're going to get the money.
Yeah. It's like you want to make things as cinematic and big and bombastic as possible. I completely get that. It's just, that was probably the best fight of the show. I mean, I could just wax lyrical about how good the Entertainment District arc is, but we are talking about the Swordsmith Village arc. I will say, Kotetsu, good kid character. You know? Like a kid character that didn't annoy you. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and was anybody expecting the sword maker to actually be pretty good looking?
That was a meme for like a whole, I think like probably 3 months after that finished airing in Japanese, where everyone watched it. Like, he's hot. He's hot. Why is he hot? He's so hot. Why is he hot?
It's because all the swordsmiths are so particular, like about, you know, making swords and stuff. You don't.
His autism saved him.
He literally had his eye cut. He had his eye cut in quarters, and he still kept going.
Yeah.
It's literally fucking dying, but just the hyper focus saved him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he wasn't done.
Yeah.
But yeah. I love anytime the swordsmiths come up, just because of how fucking goofy they are. But they are very good at what they do, and you know, they're characters that you don't want to see get hurt. So it's like those three Okay, I take that back. There are 3 swordsmiths I don't like, and it was the 3 motherfuckers who just had to be running around, trying to get away from the demon when
Nezuko thought Nezuko was fucking dying.
Yeah, and it's like, come on, don't be stupid and put Nezuko in the way of harm. That's just rude. That's rude.
They're just trying to get them swords to fight with.
We're here with reinforcements. Oh shit! But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about the Swordsmith arc. Great arc, you know, as usual, S tier.
Apparently, this is the calmest, one of the calmer seasons.
Oh dear!
Everybody, hold on to your tip. It gets wild.
So yeah, I give it an S tier. Easy.
Same.
Yep. Everyone has an S tier.
Okay, now let's move on to the spooky season picks. And so with our club, we do every October we do
scary stuff.
Yeah, we do scary. Well, not necessarily scary, but like stuff that fits well with Halloween. So it can be more than just like ghost stories, but like, you know, ghost spooky stuff. It can be, you know, kind of Halloween, Tim Burton-ish type anime like Doro or Soul Eater, even though Soul Eater's way too fucking long to fit in 1 month. But anyway,
it just takes like 5 weeks. Don't worry about
it. 5 days if you do it back to back to back to back to back. But we are going to look at the pick that I put for Halloween month, and that was Devilman, the original Devilman.
Well, the 2 OVAs they made in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yep, the original. Okay, that's a good point. The original Devilman anime, because the manga.
I think there actually was an anime made before that was like 39 episodes, but
yes.
Well, then why did they remake it into the OVA?
Because Devilman was really popular.
Can I say something about Devilman?
Sure.
I was not expecting it to be like a comic book, 70s, 80s comic book type thing.
I'm so glad you said that, because it had such a comic book feel to it. And I mean that both good and bad. It's like someone took the story of Devilman.
It's like Wolverine, but Devilman.
Yeah, it's like...
And when the guy turns into Devilman sounds like Skeletor.
Yes, and he literally calls him...
And we did watch the English dub of it that's in all those hilarious meme videos.
Right, we will...
Like, is there anywhere I can put my shoes? I don't give a shit.
We'll talk about the dub in a second. But I will say that I can't speak for Hannah, because I don't know if you have or not. But me and Steven have seen Devilman Cry.
I refuse to watch it.
Fair point. But
and I love Masaki Uwasa. I just don't want to watch sad stuff on purpose.
So we won't make this too much about Devilman Crybaby for your sake. But Steven, having seen it, me and him are both we at least know what the story of Devilman actually entails to a certain degree.
Yeah, it's always been on my list to watch the original Devilman series, but I thought the OVA would be well enough. But your boy got bamboozled. Your boy was flabbergasted.
So let me say this about the OVA, because we started with comic books. It's like someone took the story from the Devilman manga, and I guess this anime, which I did not know existed, but will want to check out sometime.
Wait, you didn't know Devilman Crybaby was an adaptation?
No, I knew it was an adaptation.
He thought it was an adaptation of the two OVAs.
Well, of the original manga and the OVAs. I didn't know that the 39 episode show existed.
And that's like when we were watching the show and I was trying to find the dub cast list. It took me forever.
Well, yeah, because they haven't been in anything else in like 25 years.
Oh, no, because I kept getting results for the 39 episode anime.
Oh, okay. When did that... Do you know when that came out?
70s, maybe?
I would assume that's when it came out, but...
Yeah, because the show ran from like 79 to 83.
Oh, so late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, and then the OVA was made between 84 and 85.
Okay.
I think I could be completely wrong. Actually, no, wait.
Hannah's going to fact check us on this.
Actually, no, it went from 79 to 81, and then the OVAs came out 84 to 85.
Okay, so that's beside the point. We're getting sidetracked. What I wanted to say is, this is like the OVAs. If you're a fan of Devilman, this is like someone took the story of Devilman and said, let's make it a really crappy 60s comic book. Make it like a really crappy 60s comic book.
Okay, I looked it up. The original manga ran from 1972 to 1973. The 39 episode anime ran from 1972 to 1973. Then there's another manga, novel series, OVA. The first one was 1987. The second one was 1990.
Oh, it's 80s as fuck, let me tell you.
Fuck ton more mangas. And then a live action movie of Devilman in 2004, which I actually saw a little bit of it at Anime Zap one year when I just happened to walk into the video room.
I know exactly what room you would have been in to see that.
Yeah. And then Devilman Crybaby 2018.
Yep, which that was my first exposure to Devilman at all. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to say, is that the Devilman OVA is like someone took the story and made it into a shitty 60s comic book. It feels... But here's the thing. It is such a fun watch. Watch it dubbed.
Yes, watch it dubbed.
Because the dub is hilarious. The dub is like... Oh, go ahead.
I think it's a Canadian dub.
Yeah, the Canadian company dubbed it, and full of Canadian actors.
Yeah, I remember like the first episode trying to figure out whether they were American or British.
Yeah, well...
It's the halfway point.
But here's the thing. They're Canadians, but they all sound like they're from the fucking Bronx.
Yeah, they call the girl Mickey.
Oh, and they're like when the demon starts attacking the house, he's like, "Hey, yo, let's get out of here."
Didn't they make the blonde boy just sound like he's from New York?
Yes.
Yes, in points he like almost...
And apparently, I think the blonde boy was...
Rio.
Yeah, Rio.
Rio is Rio.
Apparently, Rio, his voice actor, the English voice actor, did a whole bunch of things with Ninjago, the fucking Lego series that aired on Cartoon Network.
I think like all of the voice actors from that somehow ended up on Ninjago.
Yeah, because a lot of them did a whole bunch of like Canadian features before that. I think their stuff got bought out by Funimation.
That would make sense. But yeah, I'll say this. So ranking it up against the story of Devilman, the first OVA has the most to do with the original like story of Devilman. Steven, you would know this as well. Like it follows, I won't say pretty closely, but close enough that you could like see the parallels between this and Devilman Crybaby.
Yeah, how everything starts and whatnot.
The second OVA has fuck all to do with it. It's just one giant fight between Akira, that's the main character, Akira, and some bird demon lady.
With her tits out?
With her there's so much boobage in
her
this.
Tits out and feather song.
It's like, only anime, man. But yeah, the first OVA you would get more value out of if you are a fan of this story, because it has the most to do with the story. I can't really speak for the second OVA. I did not enjoy the second OVA as much as the first.
No.
It was still funny.
It was still funny, and I still had a fun time watching it. It would almost qualify as a good drunk watch, but you could, like, also watch it seriously, and, like, because I took it seriously, and I thought it was on the level of, I mean, I ended up giving it a B tier. I'm kind of spoiling the ending here, but I gave it a B tier. It wasn't near as good as Devilman Crybaby, which I give like a high A, low S almost
high
to.
A,
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I can't really recommend it because it's not really good enough, but it's like, it's still goofy enough that I think if you wanted to pick it up just to have like a, if you're just chilling out with some friends and
if you need like 2 hours to kill.
Yeah, and you got some, booze lying around and you just want to kill some time with your friends, just invite them over, have a fun, spooky watch. Or if you're like a diehard, like, a diehard Devilman fan and you just need to see it all, you've probably already seen it at this point, so you don't need me to give you this recommendation, but go find it, pick it up. I was fortunate enough to find it at a anime con, so I was just like, well, this will be one of my Halloween picks. And it served its purpose well enough. What did you guys think of it? Tier wise and final thoughts, kind of.
Low B.
Yeah, I give it a B tier just because
Had funny moments.
Yeah.
It was also like way out of left field from what I was expecting.
Yeah, I was expecting something way darker, because you know what horror anime from like the late 80s, early 90s can be. It can be this kind of like macabre, very gory kind of.
See, I was expecting some sort of paranoia agent, not like Wolverine.
Yeah, I was expecting something much less campy. I guess that's the word I've been trying to pull up here for, the past few minutes, is campy, is how I would describe the OG Devilman. But yeah, B tier, not really a whole lot to say about. I think I've said pretty much my piece on it, and
yeah, it's
bless you.
Really.
Now, let's move on to Hannah's pick. We got to revisit a show that I really enjoyed when you first showed me.
Yeah.
And then you got to show it again.
Yeah, this is my third watch of this show. Wade's second, Steven's first. Odd Taxi. One of the great sleeper hits of, I think it was 2019. Wait, no.
21?
Yeah, 2021 when this came out.
Yeah.
It's the big sleeper hit.
So, yeah, before we get into our thought, how did you find the show? Because you said it was a sleeper hit. How did you even pick it up?
There's some YouTubers that go through, like when the anime seasons start, and they just, watch, the first episode of every show coming out that season, just to say, what might be good, what you can tell from the first episode is going to be trash and stuff, but, yeah, so they said that everybody kept saying they really had faith in Odd Taxi, and that, despite every character being animals in it, that's not the big draw of the show, it's not like Beastars.
Hey,
Yeah.
That's a joke for later, but yeah, I was kind of thinking about Beastars when I first watched the show with you.
Which, in thing you'll find out at the very end, there's actually a reason they're all animals.
Yes, it's not like a Zootopia situation where they're just kind of animals for the sake of it.
Yeah, there's no Judy Hopps and the fox. things.
Though this
Yes.
is kind of a crime show, though.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
See, the plot of this was you have Otakawa, just middle-aged taxi driver Walrus, who his taxi route just ends up getting him involved in the Yakuza and a case of a missing high schooler.
Yeah. And it basically...
Like, people think he was involved in the case, and even he doesn't know for sure whether or not he's involved.
And it takes him on this journey and it takes us, the audience, on this journey with all of these different wild and crazy characters. And that's the biggest strength of Odd Taxi, in my opinion. Just so many good characters.
Yeah, and it's like how many times I've rewatched the show, you just realize every single thing that happens is connected.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And
it's like, and even on rewatch, you just see so many clues to the real end of the show.
Yeah.
Just so many clues that you miss on the first watch, but just notice again on rewatch. And especially that this time, now that we've watched it, the dub has finally come out, so this is my first time watching it dubbed. The dub cast did a very great job.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness, yes. The dub cast was absolutely on fire. I'm glad that I got to watch it both subbed and dubbed.
Same.
But I thought the dub cast was fantastic. It actually had some big names playing like some low-key parts in here. Like
Bryce Pappenbrook playing the little brother Daimon.
Koshiro is his name. The little cop.
Yeah. And Brandon McInnes voiced the big brother, and Bryce Pappenbrook voiced the little brother, which, like, Bryce Pappenbrook is really channeling his Kermit the Frog impression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't actually read it like that. But when I heard, like, I was just watching the show with these guys, and whenever Koshiro was on screen, I was just watching him like normal. I wasn't, like, pointing him out as Bryce Papp. You guys had to point him out to me as Bryce because I didn't recognize him.
I just opened up the dub cast list as we were going on, and it's like, holy shit, that's Bryce.
I had no idea. If you had
Bryce has one hell of a range.
He does have a hell of a range, because if you guys had not told me that was Bryce, I wouldn't have even guessed that he was in this show, much less that he played like a pretty... A smaller role, but still a pretty pivotal one, because he's kind of like Otakawa's inside man, in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed Odd Taxi as a first-time viewer. Really good show. I guess I'll repeat what I said about certain tropes in it that I put in our little chat.
About abuse being a big...
Yeah, so the thing about it is that I get that mental trauma can be a really good spring for some type of psychological horror stuff, but knowing Japan and how they operate, being the capitalistic people that they are, will run that thing into the dirt. And I think Odd Taxi is showing that they're starting to do that. I appreciate the reason explained behind it is a bit unique with the mental disorder of like the
dissociative identity.
Yeah, that I get. I think it was fine, but it's just that it's been like the past 10 years.
I know, and I'm glad you pointed that out, because it's actually sacked one of my favorite genres of anime, the psychological.
Yeah,
which used to be at such a...
It hurts.
Which it used to be at such a peak in like the 90s and 2000s, but now it's just been like
the psychological back like pre-2013 I think.
Sure, yeah.
Like psychopath, I'd say psychopaths or what was it, Parasite?
Yeah, Parasite.
Parasite's kind of, yeah. I think Parasite's like the last good one that just involved weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
But Psychopaths is the last good one that involved... You can disagree with me if you want, but Psychopaths...
Well, I haven't seen too much of it, so I can't really...
Psychopaths is the last one that actually dealt with mental illnesses like sociopathy and psychopathy.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to speak of the third season because it doesn't exist and I hate it, but...
Oh, It's one of those.
The first 2 seasons are fucking bangers. Watch it, please.
I will.
Those first 2 were really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
But what they did was they explored. The first season was psychopathy, which
Psychopathy.
yeah, thanks. Psychopathy, which was really good deep dive into it, and the other half was like they tried to do that with sociopathy, which kind of worked, but having to tie it in with some other plot important things gets kind of made it a little shaky.
Yeah.
Still worked really good though.
But yeah, where I think the psychological genre of anime started to decline was like around the time that Satoshi Kon was forced to retire due to his illness.
Oh yeah, that would do it.
That ended up taking his life because he was like the top guy in like like he was kind of the kingmaker in a sense of like how good psychological anime be. I mean, the guy directed, when you direct Perfect Blue, it's kind of the ball's sort of in your court at that.
Can I just say that Perfect Blue has been seeing a giant resurgence?
Yeah.
The past, couple months?
Always see at least a few people cosplaying Mima at conventions.
I saw that, and I was so fucking proud. I was like, yes! Someone is cosplaying as, like, the certified hood classics from
It's as old as I am. Actually, I think it came out in, like, January or February, I think.
97, yeah. It was one of those...
Good old 26.
Did anyone notice that, like, 1997 and 1998 were, like, huge years for anime? Just looking at all the anime that came out that year.
Well, it's a good year because I was born in those years, so...
Sure. But
does 2000 get... I know Kryptonite by Three Doors Down came out the same year I was born.
Oh, that's fun too. That's not anime, but that is
that's
fun.
That's all I've got.
That's a good fucking question though. What came out?
And I was gonna say Smooth by Santana, then I realized that came out in 2001.
That's.
I'm trying to think of anime stuff that would have come out in the year 2000.
I'll look it up.
Lane was 98, wasn't it?
Yeah, Lane was 98. Trigun was 98. Bebop was 97. Berserk was 97.
Mm-hmm.
End of Evangelion was 98. Fucking A. So while she's looking that up, we're going to drop back into...
Blood the Last Vampire.
Oh, that was a banger. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Boogie Pop Phantom.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I know that's an anime my mom likes.
Okay. Anyway, so I'll drop back into Odd Taxi. The way this
Fully Cooley. My favorite anime came out the year I was born.
There you go.
Oh, not like the 12 iteration on Adult Swim right now.
Fuck you. Hamtaro. That was
yes. S tier.
That was an anime I loved when I was like 4.
I didn't even watch anime, and I liked Hamtaro, so it was.
I just imagine all the poor parents that wanted to buy Hamtaro for their kids and ended up getting Ebi Chu.
Which I think an early AMV that I saw was Hamtaro set to the hamster dance.
Yes, that's a certified herd classic.
Oh.
This is a certified.
Inuyasha.
Yeah.
That's another one my mom likes, but...
Have you watched it?
No.
Okay, it was Bleach in 2000, or was that Bleach in like 2004?
One Piece was...
98.
Okay. Damn, 98 was a huge year for anime. Naruto, that had to have been 2000.
2002, I think.
Sayuki, which I only know from Greg Ayers.
Oh.
So he always tells the story of that at his...
Is that the one where he, like, vomited?
Not that I know of, but...
Oh, no, that was Gantz. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I'm bullshitting.
Yes, Sayuki's the one where he always talks about where he was an anime fan before he got into dubbing, but it's like he was auditioning for a show, but like they gave him a script with the title was changed, but they kept the character names, and he was a huge fan of Sayuki, but he was able to tell he was auditioning for that show just because they didn't change the character names.
Nice.
So as soon as the audition was over, he said, "Wait, am I auditioning for Sayuki?"
Nice.
Naruto came out in 2002.
Okay.
At least the anime did.
Okay.
Manga was written in 1999.
So I'm glad we got that worked out. But real quick, can we drop back into Odd Taxi, please?
Sure. Yep.
I just wanted to say, Odd Taxi is one of its biggest strengths besides its characters, and we can get back to its characters in a second, is that, like you were saying, everything is connected. It feels a lot like Pulp Fiction, like the movie Pulp Fiction, where it's like every character, like, story, it's not just a vignette. Everything is, like, connected to each other, and everything sort of serves the plot, even if it's not apparent at the time. Even if it's not, like, an intentional service to the plot, like, Tanaka, the gamer kid, like, his involvement in the plot is completely accidental and frankly kind of stupid, but in a intentional way. It's intentionally stupid.
Yeah. It ends up having a huge moment in like the second to last episode.
Right, where he gets the shit beaten out of him by Dobu, right?
I mean, no, he ends up with a gun.
Right.
Gotcha games turn a guy into the Joker.
Yes, and his story, I'll say this.
Yeah, he gets an entire episode explaining his backstory
and
how he ends up with a gun.
And I did not feel sorry for him one bit during it.
Also, I love how in the dub they got Alex Lee to voice him, and I could just tell from his deranged screams that that's Alex Lee.
Yeah, it was Zenitsu.
You gotta get Alex Lee to voice the most deranged character, the most unhinged character in your English anime dub.
And I'll say this, there are a lot of, like, well-written and interesting characters. Other than Otakawa, Shirakawa, and the gorilla doctor, there's not really a lot of likable characters.
Yeah.
Everyone's an asshole.
Yes.
The most feared member in the Yakuza is a little hedgehog guy that talks and raps and gets transportation by Razor Scooter.
Yeah.
Can I say something about the dialogue? Apparently you guys said that was really hard to go from sub to dub.
Yeah, it's like translating songs and especially rapping is very it's very difficult to translate from Japanese to English just because, Japanese, it takes a lot more syllables to say what you can say in English.
Right, and then you gotta match it with the lip flaps.
Yeah. It's like what I see from watching a lot of songs, like Japanese songs on YouTube, where the Japanese text is like this fucking long, and like the actual English translation is just like 5 words.
Yeah. I thought they did a fantastic job with Yano in the dub. I thought they really nailed that character. Yeah. And the actor who plays Yano,
this is like his first big role.
And he kills it, especially with the fact that he has to basically rap all of his dialogue.
I hope he gets into more stuff.
He
deserves it.
I mean, he already is. He's I know he's in the latest season of JoJo, like the one that came out last year. I saw a couple other upcoming projects that are on his you go to someone's IMDb page and it's starring in, and so I see he's doing a lot more stuff. His name is Darius Johnson, I think is his name.
I'll look him. I know how at least on my phone, when you highlight something, it'll do web search for that.
Yeah.
And I web searched his name and it kept giving me results for a football player.
Yeah, not who we're talking about. So Steven, who are some of your favorite characters to follow in this?
What's his name? Gogeta, the guy at the clinic.
Oh, the doctor?
Yeah, the doctor.
Goriki, okay.
Yeah, he was one of the few likable characters.
Yeah, he was a good character. What was his face? The fucking
Darius Johnson was Yano's dub actor.
Okay,
right.
Yano was really good. Character wise was really funny.
Yeah.
Then what was it? The the guy that approaches Otokawa, from the Yakuza.
Oh, Dobu?
The Dobu was really.
Dobu's a good character, and I really like the rivalry that Dobu and Yano had. Even though they don't really interact that much on screen, you like feel that these guys have beef, and it really drives the plot forward. I will say one of the drawbacks that I had with Odd Taxi is that I thought the actual plot, what the plot is, kind of got a little convoluted.
Kind of, but
not enough much for me to derail the show for me. I still thought it was excellent. I'm just saying.
I think the show got the bow was tied a little bit too neatly at the end, for my taste.
Oh,
that's probably why they made a movie of it. Which I feel like I probably should watch the movie sometime, though. Kind of seems like the movie is just kind of more like a recap of the show, but with more added to that final scene, where there's like an actual confrontation.
Yeah, those types of anime films do aggravate me, because it's like, God,
Air, for existence. Air is one and only movie it's like that.
Whose movie?
Air.
Oh,
the
right.
Studio Key show that we all felt very underwhelmed by.
Oh, right. Yeah. Which I guess that makes sense. And I'll say this about the twist. We were talking about it. We kind of alluded to it with your sort of discussion of mental illness in anime. I thought that the twist was actually good. I actually liked how they explained how they're all animals. And
I didn't say it was bad. I just said it was overused.
No. I know. I'm saying this as my own kind of independent thought. The thing that I like about it especially, it's not like The Sixth Sense, where it's like a repeat watch. You actually look for clues to see that what the twist is. Really, they don't give you a whole lot of clues as to what is going.
It's more like, so that's why he's good at telling people. He's good at telling people apart.
Yeah. It's
like he can tell people. It's like, look at a picture of the back of somebody and be able to tell who it is.
Right, and it's not even an out of place thing. You get so used to them just being animals, you forget that they're even.
And it might be at least in the subtitled version I watched, but another thing I saw on my second rewatch of it was, I think it was a scene with Otokawa and Dobu, and it's you thought Dobu being a monkey or something, and it's what do you mean? Oh wait, never mind, I know.
Yeah.
So, it's that's something you won't be able to pick up on until you watch it a second time of how Dobu just knows.
Yeah. And I'll say that when they actually do turn back into humans, all of the designs actually that don't look shoehorned or half-assed or anything, they actually fit pretty well with their animal designs, especially Otokawa.
Yeah.
The way that they he looks almost this is gonna sound weird. He looks like a more attractive Bill from
King of the Hill.
King of the Hill, which is funny because there was I just realized there was a subplot where do you remember this, where Bill thought his DNA got scrambled with a walrus?
The episode where they steal the tank.
Yes, where they steal the tank. I just realized that. But yeah, all the animal designs fit really well. None of them seem out of place.
I mean, it's kind of weird to me, at least in the Japanese version, how many Love Live voice actors are in the show.
Right.
Shirakawa was voiced by Reen's voice actress. 2 of the idol poodles are Love Live.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Rui, the poodle idol girl, is voiced by Umi's voice actress, Suzuko Mimori, who actually does the ending theme of Odd Taxi too.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, which she does that in her not Umi voice.
Nice.
And the calico cat girl,
right,
the one that kind of catfishes the monkey guy, is Shioriko.
Oh, neat. lot of Love Live alumni. I thought, going back to the sub, when I watched the sub, I thought Reen's voice actress did a really good job as Shirakawa.
Yeah.
And Shirakawa is just such a nice character. It's nice in a show like this to just have a nice character, and it's like someone who you actually root for. I know she has her whole like kung fu shtick, which is kind of
capoeira, whatever that thing is.
Yeah, which is kind of goofy, but it's also kind of endearing and also kind of useful.
Yeah.
But...
comes back in at the end.
Yeah.
Everything is connected.
Yep. I think we can all agree, though, that Soichi, worst character.
Wait, who is?
The hippo, the clout chaser.
Yeah, worst character.
Kabasawa.
Yeah.
Taichi.
Wait, what do I have? Oh, I wrote Soichi. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, it's goddamn it. I know why I wrote it like that.
The college boy hippo whose only motivation in life is to get famous on Twitter.
Who frames his tweets.
Literally printed out his one viral tweet and hung it up on his wall.
But you know what? That's like a character that is like you're gonna see more of, because that's like kind of it's kind of like how back 20 years ago you would have like the young reporter who would like sneak into places he wasn't supposed to be with like his camera and take pictures of stuff.
Like the best example I could say is that the guy who faked having a broken arm got a picture inside the Supreme Court.
What?
So there was a guy who really wanted to get an inside picture of the Supreme Court in session. So he faked a broken arm and had a camera somewhere on it and was able to take pictures.
Oh. I didn't hear about that. That's fascinating.
That's in like the 20s or 30s, so...
Oh! Even more fascinating. So, guess what, kids? You know what? To all the Zoomers out there, don't worry. Clout chasing is as old as dirt. Everyone's been chasing clout. As long as we've been chasing mammoths, we've been chasing clout.
Mammoths were clout back in the...
Oh, yeah, I guess they were.
I mean, one of the first big fads in the world was flagpole sitting. People would literally just climb up on top of flagpoles and sit on them, and there'd just be competition to see who could climb up the highest.
Boy, it'd be a bad time to take a bad step. Because either you fall off it or you make a shish kebab out of you.
I really hope everyone was wearing pants during that.
So, I will say the character who I really found myself trying to have sympathy for, and I couldn't really do it, Kakihana.
Yeah.
Kakihana was too much of a simp.
Like, he was Otakawa's classmate, which means he's in his 40s, too. Genuinely thought an 18-year-old girl on a dating site was into him.
Yeah, that's
he deserved it. He deserved it.
That's sus, too. That's
My guy was so desperate. He was thinking with the wrong head.
Yeah, sorry, Kakihana. I can't pull... Neil Breen, I can't pull you out of this one, Kakihana.
I just love that scene at the very end where the Otakawa gets all the money. It's like, you could use it to pay off Kakihana's debts. Like, no. He's got to pay for his mistake.
Oh, and just one more thing. A couple more things before we leave Odd Taxi. I will say the art style is really, really good.
Yeah.
Like, it's not really... So going back to Beastars a bit, you know how Beastars kind of has a real, like, anthropomorphic... Like, you know why it's drawn that way.
Yeah.
With Odd Taxi, it's not so.
Fucking furries.
Odd Taxi is more just straight up animals.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't walk
cartoony.
Yeah, they don't walk on all fours or anything. Don't worry about that. But it's like they just embrace the animal designs, really.
Yeah. I'm not really meant for the furries, those kinds of furries. Just kind of more like Disney, you know?
Yes, yeah.
Like Disney, but just kind of a bit more abstract, kind of.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Don't doubt the power of Rule 34, though.
Yeah, one thing I hate is when I looked up the Odd Taxi fandom, and there's just so much art of Yano and the polar bear. I think Sekiguchi's his name. Basically, like Yano's underling.
Yeah.
Polar bear guy. Like, people ship them together so much. I don't know why.
Well, any fandom where you have, like, you know, where the characters are, like, animals, you're gonna have fan art that isn't tasteful.
I mean, there was one I really liked of, you know, that one video of Donald Sterling's mistress, and they had that one interview with her. It's like, so what is your relationship with Mr. Sterling? It's like, I'm Mr. Sterling, everything. His right hand arm man. His confidant. His silly rabbit. His what? His silly rabbit. Is that what he calls you? No. Yeah, somebody drew that, but with Sekiguchi. Like, what is your relationship to Yano?
And one more thing. The music in it fucking slaps. The music has a very...
Yeah, the OP is so lo-fi hip-hop beats to study to.
Yeah. It almost sounds like a slow, like, almost reverb version of, like, a Red Hot Chili Peppers song.
Yeah, something more like Hard to Concentrate by Red Hot Chili Peppers, like the slower songs in their discography.
Yeah, where it, like
Stadium Arcadium era.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wait, no, Stadium Arcadium was that double album.
Where it's like real slow, kind of stringing guitar, not string guitar, but like they're strumming on the guitar pretty slow, kind of just letting the
vibe.
Yeah, kind of groove rock kind of sound to it, and I really, really appreciated it. So I guess we'll cap it off here because I pretty much said everything I really wanted to say about Odd Taxi, unless you have sort of some final thoughts that you wanted to give about it before we give our final rankings.
No, I think we've pretty much said everything. I think we all had it in our A tier. And we can probably wait for Steven since Steven just left for the bathroom.
Yeah. When Steven gets back, we'll give our final sort of answers here. But yeah, Hannah wasn't kidding that this was kind of a sleeper hit. Go and find Odd Taxi. Like, this is one that I would really recommend that you watch. If you're wanting something different out of anime, this is kind of the show for you. Where it's like a show that isn't like a big bombastic shonen anime or... Yeah,
it's just kind of one of those shows where just... I remember when it was coming out, like, it was just a show I had my eye on to watch sometime, and just, like, as more episodes kept coming out, just, like, more and more people just kept looking at it too, just until it finally got so big that, like, you know, Funimation... it was Crunchyroll decided they were gonna dub it, and it got to... when we were at Ace, and the next year there was apparently an entire panel just for the dub of it.
I heard about that. Yeah, and that was like, wait, there's a whole Odd Taxi panel? That's awesome. You know, because I want anime like this to get more attention. Not that I don't like the big stuff, like obviously Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan.
Yeah, it's just fun to see these little self-contained oddball hits to make it big.
You don't really... I mean, you still see them, but it's not like in the past where it's like anime was just such kind of a free-for-all that anything could sort of sneak through and become a hit.
Like nowadays, like the only things that get big are just like adaptations of mangas that are already huge, right? It's like big shonen battle shows and stuff, but like this... it's its own little original self-contained story that just had its 12 episodes and used them wisely, and
didn't overstay its welcome.
Yeah, it had like one movie after that pretty much just added a little bit to the end apparently, but I think that's going to be it for that series.
Right. And
after the ending of the anime, I don't really see how they would continue it anyway.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfectly ended. It's a good 12 episode. You knock it out basically in an afternoon. You know, start at lunchtime, be done by dinner time, that kind of deal. So, I guess we'll give our final sort of thoughts in a tier fashion. So for me, definite high A tier.
Same.
Yep.
So A tiers all around for Odd Taxi. Now, let's move on to what did we watch? Oh, our movie night. So we will start with the Revue Starlight movie.
Yeah, finally a movie I've been meaning to watch for years.
Because it's been out since, what, 2020?
Yeah, 2020, 2021, around that time.
Watching all the new stuff, huh?
Yeah. I got into Revue Starlight 2021. I watched the 12-episode anime, and because I'm a huge Love Live and Yuri fan, I needed to watch that. Got into it. Really liked it, but the movie is what everybody talks about. Where so much of the fan art is about, like all the quotes people post are from the reviews in the movie. So yeah.
Let me say something about the movie. As someone who wasn't the biggest fan of the Revue Starlight show, I think I really respect what this movie did in just leaving all the high school bullshit behind and just swinging for the fences with its concept of like, hey, we're just gonna have these like magical girls in this sort of like theatrical, magical, fantastical, I'm a spiritual, lyrical kind of setting. And I thought that it really paid out. I thought it worked. I thought it was surreal in a lot of points. That the character drama was actually better this time around, even though I'm sorry, these characters aren't really the most compelling to me. Hikari and Karin were better than they were before, but I still, the characters do their jobs well. Like,
I ate a lot of tomatoes.
Oh, yeah. Don't watch this if you don't like tomatoes, because, oh boy, they go through some tomatoes.
Yeah. Like, basically, a basic synopsis of the movie is that the girls go on their graduation trip and end up settling all of their beefs.
That's funny, because there's an Always Sunny episode. It was the Thanksgiving episode where they try to squash their beefs and end up burning someone's apartment building down. That's basically what happened here.
Basically, Karuko and Futaba get divorced. Nana tells Juna to kill herself.
Oh, yeah, that happened.
Then Juna tells, no, kill yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, an Uno reverse.
Yeah. Claudine and Maya actually end up getting together. I think Hikari and Karin end up getting together. Then Mahiru's just kind of there.
Mahiru relapsed on the underage drug.
Yeah.
And the giraffe is just vibing.
The giraffe turns into vegetables.
The giraffe turns into a fucking AI art drawing.
Yeah, it looked AI.
Yeah, it did. And
hyper-realistic fruit.
Yeah.
Vegetables.
It's like when an AI says, like if you were to tell an AI program, hey, draw a giraffe but in the shape of fruit, that's basically what it would spit out.
Or fruit in the shape of the giraffe.
Yeah, fruit. Either way.
Yeah, you could be Shadiversity and just draw and then do Photoshop and then claim that you're drawing when you're not actually doing shit.
Oh, I don't know. Is this a Twitter drama that you like or something?
That's a YouTube drama and it's fucking hilarious. I'd explain it, but we don't have time.
Yeah, and plus, I think I'm kind of checked out on drama, to be honest. But in any case, so I'll say this, Hannah, you'll enjoy this. I like this more than the show.
Same.
I thought this was actually pretty good. And it sounds like, from the way you're talking about it, the fandom actually likes this movie more than the show.
Yeah.
I can't speak... I don't speak for the whole fan, but that's the kind of vibe I'm getting from you.
Yeah. I mean, I now understand why the entire front page of top posts of all time in the Revue Starlight subreddit is all Claudine Maya ship art.
Oh, is that the you like jazz part?
The what?
The jazz part? Okay, I might be stupid.
I thought that was the Nana one.
No, I'm.
Oh no, that was Futaba and Karuko had the jazz, the funkiest divorce ever.
What was the one where they rammed the buses at each other? That was fun.
Yeah, that was
the same one.
Futaba and Karuko.
Okay, because at that point I couldn't take it seriously anymore because like that bus is running through the desert. I'm like, dig through the ditches and burn through
the witches and slam in the back of my Dracula.
That's all I could fucking think of was that Rob Zombie music video. But, yeah, I thought, it went, it took this concept and it didn't try to arrest itself to, like, all this high school drama that I...
Can we just say how Nana is really good at just dropping all emotions and being a complete psychopath?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she made her whole class repeat the entire...
Yeah, just repeated her freshman play for 60 years.
Yeah, that
my headcanon is that she was stopped on her 69th year.
Anyway,
I think it was pretty nice.
Nice.
Banana-nice.
Oh my God.
But I thought but speaking of characters, because I mentioned this a little bit earlier, I thought they did a lot of good stuff with like Hikari and Karin.
Yeah.
Like the stuff with them as kids and them getting older. I thought that was good.
Yeah, Karen's backstory is pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I like him. So it's like in the anime, she was like the worst one in her class.
Yeah.
At the prestigious music academy. Like before Hikari got there, and it's like you know how they show that Nana's been doing the same play for 60 years. Karin was never part of the auditions, which means she was never even in the running to be the top star.
Can I just say, I do not like Nana. Yeah. Nana's kind of, like, rubs me the wrong way. Like, yeah. I like her hair, because it looks like bananas, but...
I mean, I kind of do like how the movie really shows that she really is the closest thing this series has to a villain. Like in the anime, you'd probably kind of consider the draft to be the villain, but like no, the movie it's like no, the draft is barely there. This is all Nana's fault.
Okay, here's how I'll describe this show. Imagine if a bunch of your Imagine your theater kids section in high school actually had a show. Yeah, well, like, imagine if...
all those theater kid orgies you know about, where it's like everybody in your theater club's dating each other, because, that's where all the gays in the school end up congregating. Just all that drama, but they have actual weapons.
With that, and then every, 10 minutes or so... Jay Hickman comes in as a giraffe and essentially sings a Tool song at you.
Turns to the audience and says, "This is all your fault.
Speaking of which,
you did this."
Speaking of which, we got another moment. We got another fourth wall break in this fucking movie with Karin and.
It's like, what are all these people doing here? Why are they in this scary place?
Yeah, it's like...
I was like, hey, no, we're not doing this shit again.
Don't blame me for this!
I was thinking, no, it's the fucking giraffe.
This is not on me, this is on you!
It was like the Ferris Bueller moment. It's like, what are you doing here? Go home!
I was like on the show, you did this to them!
Yeah, it's like, I'll just... Hikari, please, or Karin, Hikari, please come back. I love you. Hikari, no, I'm done with you. And then you have the giraffe. Lie, chain, steal. Just singing a Tool song. Did you ever?
Oh yeah, gotta add all the Revue songs in this movie are absolute bops.
They are really good. And I was going to say...
Like Wild Screen Baroque, that Nana solo song. Like Nana's whole villain song.
Yeah, amazing. That was good. That was really good.
And Wagamama Highways, the Karuko and Futaba song, the funky divorce.
Yeah, that was good. I'll say this.
And also the Claudine and Maya Revue had finally got the source of the most baller quote I've ever heard from this show. For heroes there are trials, for sinners there are temptations, for me there is you. That is the quote I always see everywhere, and now I finally know the source of it.
Cool. So my favorite I really like I agree with Hannah. A lot of the songs are really, really good. I like the score in this because it has like an almost like Arabian or Indian kind of flair to it.
There was like a lot of desert scenes.
Yeah. So I guess it makes sense, but I thought it added to it in kind of a weird way, even though I couldn't really put my finger on it besides like the actual geography of...
Speaking of that, the tower turned into a rocket. At the very end of
that was hilarious.
Plane hit Tokyo Tower.
I was gonna say, there was some real Coyote versus the Roadrunner type shit in the desert in this.
Yeah, there was a train in the desert. Nana and Karin really took the midnight train going anywhere.
Nice.
Good one.
Yeah, really swung for the fences on that one. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected. I was actually joking because this movie is 2 hours flat. And I was like, what in the fuck does Revue Starlight need 2 hours to like finish the story? Turns out it needed pretty much all of it to like squash all these beefs, because it took me a little bit. It took me about 45 minutes into the movie to really get what it was like. Oh, this is too.
I mean, you probably need at least 2 hours to untangle your local theater troupe's web of drama.
I don't go near my.
I was a theater kid in high school. You don't need 2 hours. You need 5 minutes.
And I attempted to be a theater kid, but failed. But I'm an orchestra pit person.
I mean, I had friends who were in the theater group, but most of the time I did not like them and would want to throw soda cans at them.
let me rephrase mine a little bit. I was really more like the theater kid who didn't have time to be in theater, so I was really just a stagehand.
Yeah, I mean, I respect the hell out of people who go up there and do live. That like, fuck, that's something I've always respected. Is like, I know I make jokes about theater kids, but hell, they're doing something that I wouldn't have had the gall to do back then. That's fucking cool, going up there and like, yeah, your play isn't gonna be like, you know, an on Broadway production, but you still did it. You still like, and you put yourselves out there in front of your fucking classmates. That's like, you know, good on them, you know? Like, definitely all the respect there. But we're not here to litigate our theater clubs. We're here to litigate Revue Starlight the movie. And I say B tier for the movie.
A tier.
A tier.
I'll differentiate this. I put the show at like middle B tier, and I put the movie at like a very high B tier.
Same. That's basically exactly how I feel. And
will I ever escape B tier?
You did with Odd Taxi
and Promare.
I only have one S tier to my name.
How many do you have?
2.
Oh hell.
I've been in this club for over 2 years.
Hannah, don't worry, your day's coming. Okay.
If I speak, I'm gonna make a bad joke.
Just don't say shit. Do not.
Do you want to be single again?
God damn it! I knew that was coming.
Okay, Okay, you know what? Here, you and I are gonna get back at him. Okay, Mr. Man, let's talk about the next movie that we saw that night.
The movie you spent like $40 on because you liked the title of it.
First of all, hey, Brian, he's the DVD vendor at like all the anime cons. Hey, buddy, we love you, but we have a guy here who needs a 5-finger discount over here. Because
tell me why I had to watch a movie of a satellite milking a cow.
Okay, I want to start.
And the cow shits on a toilet multiple times in the movie with sound effects.
Hey, he was making methane. You know, he.
Dairy cow. It's supposed to happen.
Yeah, I gotta pee. I'll be right back, but you guys can start.
He was making. Hey, look, gasoline's expensive. He's got to save on rent. Okay, go before you piss yourself on my bedroom floor. So I guess we will start this conversation. with the critics quote that Hannah found on the internet, and I will sip my brandy. It's rum and coke.
Stag and Dr. Pepper, be more classy.
Okay, Stag and Dr. Pepper. Look, it's not in a glass with a.
We're drinking out of solo cups right now.
Yeah, don't worry. We're not sophisticated gentlemen with cigars and.
We'll say that for when we move to the new studio.
The ice is colder because it's in a round ball. Have you ever seen those round ball ice cubes?
Have you seen the makers for those?
Yeah.
Those
My brother had those.
Those look good.
I think he took them when he moved to
Bastard.
Chicago. Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so this is my favorite critics quote, and it's one that Hannah found, and I hope she'll be able to find it again when she gets back from the bathroom. The cow shits multiple times. That was the critics quote. I want that emblazoned on the. It's like the cow shits multiple times. Roger Ebert, Chicago Sun Times. So I can't be too mad at you, Steven, because you just grabbed this movie on a whim.
Let me explain how this movie got into my hands anyway. So we were at Anime Magic, Hannah and I were walking around, and we find Brian's DVD stand. Brian usually has good hits.
Oh yeah, I buy most of my stuff.
For some reason he has all of ORMO for like $500 over there. But
no, that was a different DVD.
Oh, that was a different
stand.
DVD
Yeah.
stand? Okay, I reneged that. But yeah, Brian usually has a good bunch of bangers. And then I look at this one just off in the corner. It's called The Satellite Girl and the Milk Cow. I'm like, this seems like a very interesting watch or a very funny drunk watch. And I didn't do any research beyond what I saw in the title.
Yeah. That's how I do like the minimal. I will look up, like if I see a movie that looks interesting at his stand, I will go off to the side, like around the corner, like you know how Artist Alley is set up, and just flip through, see what the reviews are. And
I didn't even do that. I just looked at the title and that'd be funny.
Yeah, I mean, you're not really required to do that. It's just kind of a courtesy, but it's like, you know what, Steven, I almost respect you for swinging for the fences. Like, hey, you know, sometimes you pull a gem out of the DVD store, and it's like, this was not that time, because holy shit, this movie was, I'm just going to say, it was bad. This made no goddamn sense.
From last episode, I picked Darling in the Franxx to be intentionally bad. Like, I wanted to make you guys suffer, because it was hilarious, and two, they had to do the same thing I did.
This one, you got schnookered. I'm not even that mad at you.
The feeling I have for this one really is, you know how you see these memes posted by millennials ago, when they bought, like, when they heard a banger on the radio and then bought the album for like $10 and they got fucking snookered out of it. Yeah, that's how I felt like.
It was when it's 1999. You buy an album for $10. 3 tracks in, you realize it fucking sucks.
Yeah, that's how I felt like. It's not exactly betrayal because I spent my hard-earned $30 on that.
And I'm not even like. I am definitely not free of that kind of guilt because I subjected Hannah to Akame ga Kill, which was a complete, like, shoot from the hip kind of pick like this. And it wasn't, I don't think it was quite as bad as this, but it was like, yeah, I will.
You ever have a movie that makes you stop at movie night? This was it.
That, like, if you had shown this, if I had taken this to Jordan and Ryan and that group,
oh god, that would have been hilarious.
They would have beaten the fuck out of me. It's like, you're never picking again. It's like, yeah, I deserve this. But
oh my god, no. Okay, let me try to get the main synopsis for this movie because I know a whole bunch of you ain't gonna watch it, even though you probably should. But watch it in Korean.
So
don't watch it in English.
I will say, watch it. Yeah, watch it in English and watch it with like a couple of cases of beer on your coffee table.
Or watch it in Korean and see if it actually makes more sense.
Yeah. Did you want to describe it in detail, or do you want me to do my shitty, like, 1-2 sentence
No. I mean, you already kind of already did.
Okay.
But
hey, we could still we could still use your we could still use your description.
Okay.
Yeah,
just kind of be careful with the table.
I also want to explain it first so people can kind of know what they're getting into. So the main the movie is about apparently I think it's like a Korean folklore that if you get your heart broken you turn into an animal, I guess.
Okay.
And there's an incinerator marching after you to burn you, and if it eats all the people with broken hearts, it unbalances the world and brings it to the end. There's also a guy going around the plunger trying to take all the animal livers.
See,
that one I don't get that subplot. I guess it's like a underground selling type of thing where like cows' livers are more expensive than cats' livers or some shit. But yeah, it starts out with a Korean satellite from 1992 that like stopped working in 2004, going crashing down to Earth and being turned into a girl by a toilet paper Merlin.
He's not even exaggerating. That's literally what happens. This wizard.
I feel like I'm high describing this movie.
Like, and that toilet paper roll. Tell me if you guys remember this show. Do y'all remember Bobobo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looked like a Bobobo scene.
Yeah, I think it was.
This felt like a fucking Bobobo short.
I know, but yeah. So they need the satellite girl to beat the incinerator, and then she tries to beat the incinerator, but the cow guy is transported in the air. Some fucking out with piano falls into the incinerator, grabs the girl, becomes not a cow anymore because he repaired his heart by deciding he wanted to be with the satellite girl. And then lives happily ever after. I don't think I even did this. I don't think I did that justice, but the story is so goddamn disjointed that it's really hard to.
It really is, and I'll say this: I could kind of tell what its influences were. Like you could see some Miyazaki, you could kind of see some Shinkai in there. I
could see some Lupin the Third with like the mob guys.
Yeah. That's a good point, because one of the guy with the plunger looks almost like a rip of a Lupin the Third kind of character.
Kind of looks like would I say like the actual main character of Lupin the Third? But
maybe. I mean, I guess they had the same kind of attire generally, but
one could move through mirrors.
So the movie that I thought it was ripping off, I almost thought it was a rip off of this, was Your Name.
Yeah?
But here's the thing. Your Name came out in 2016.
This movie came out in 2014.
Yeah, so it's like that doesn't... Math ain't math in there. But I still could see, like, the Miyazaki kind of influences, because there's, like... You could kind of, if you squint at it, like, could kind of see, like, Miyazaki's influence there.
Yeah, if you go into space and squint at it from the same height that Kit 1 was from.
Yeah, it's like... Oh my god. So let me get into actual gripes about this movie, because
first let's have Hannah give her review of it real quick.
A satellite turns into a human girl and comes to Earth because she heard a guy singing, and turns out that guy is just a nice guy that turns into a cow, apparently because of his cowardice.
Yes,
I forgot that was the reason he became a cow.
The girl he likes tells him that she got a boyfriend, and then he goes on a whole tirade about her.
I wanted to bring that up because this is one of my actual gripes of the movie. The main character, his name is Kyung Chun.
Something like that.
Kyung Chun. That's how I saw it spelled on Rotten Tomatoes. Is the most unsympathetic, unlikable
asshole of a character.
Genuine asshole character that I've ever seen in an anime film.
Yeah,
easy.
Yeah, let me put this in perspective. I think our audience kind of likes laughing at dumb things on the internet.
Yeah.
The type of personality that we garnered here. But, like, if you guys go watch, like, Reddit YouTubers like Q-Star, Fatal Walter,
Aluris.
Aluris, sure. Ever seen their like when they start diving into like nice guys and neck beard and leg beard?